What is going on today, YouTube? Today I'm going to show you guys how you could have doubled your account with one trade. I'm going to talk about why this all happened, how it all came about, and what to look for, and how these little tiny penny stocks can really hurt or help your account. If you're new to my channel, I mainly talk about investing for the long term, but I do show these little videos about how these penny stocks are so drastically influenced by news and everything else to keep you guys out of the trap of investing and losing a lot of money or gaining a lot of money if you're on the other side of it, but sometimes you get too emotional and we're going to go over it. All right, so let's get started. This new news article came out about this stock, CBDS. It's Cannabis Sativa Inc. Don't know how to really pronounce it. The reason this stock caught my eye was because it jumped the whole way from about $4 to about $8, low over $8 in 2 days. That's huge. That's a huge jump. As you can see, that's a 100% gain, so you could have doubled your money in 2 days if you were investing in this stock. But anyways, the whole entire reason this came about, back on September 17th, news came out. News came out about this stock and said there's reports about Coca-Cola held talks on potential investments in cannabis stocks. You can go through this whole article here. It's not hard to find. Just search cannabis, CBDS, and Coca-Cola. It'll show you all about it. But anyways, anytime news like this hits the market and says a big company, a huge company in the US like Coca-Cola or someone's going to buy into a smaller company, it's going to send their price just skyrocketing. And that's exactly what happened here. Yeah, it would have been fine and dandy if you were in like the day before this news came out, but you can't ever know if this news is going to come out. There could be news coming out that could send it a complete opposite direction. But these stocks are just so manipulated by news. So if you go through, the Coca-Cola said they're thinking about buying some cannabis stock, blah, blah, blah. And even in this article, it said other beverage company, including Molson Coors Tap, has already invested in the space, and or another stock, Aurora, was last up 15%. Now, anytime some kind of news like this comes out, and especially I think what set off CBDS the most was the fact that in this article says Coca-Cola declined to comment on Aurora, but confirmed that it is closing watching the growth of non-psychoactive CBD. And just because this CBD was inside its name of this article, that sent CBDS. This is my theory. It could be right, could be wrong, but that sent CBDS soaring. Just because when people see CBD, they think of it as like a ticker. But actually, if you look into it further, CBD is just kind of cannabis. There's a difference. I just looked this up now. I didn't really know what it was. That's why I looked it up. Between THC and CBD. I guess the two most popular cannabises for marijuana is THC and CBD, and there's a distinct difference between the two. But that article really had nothing to do with the stock CBDS. It just happens that CBD and CBDS could just so easily be misinterpreted between what the stock is and what actually Coca-Cola is investing in. Now, another article came out that same day. You never know. Sometimes with these penny stocks, they could be real companies or they could be fake companies. And yes, they're all real companies, but they could just be companies trying to extend their stock price soaring because insiders have holdings and they want to cash out for a quick profit. Or they could actually be real companies and these could be real articles. But it's very hard. It's very hard to distinguish between the two. And this article came out later in the day. And see, guys, the time, it comes out first thing in the morning. 9:42. This one came out 9:42. That's right when the stock market opens. Now we're going to go and dig even a little farther into this. We're going to go back and look at 9:17 on the minute chart. Remember, that article came out at 9:42 a.m. So 12 minutes after the market opens. So we're going to go in, we're going to go to a time frame, and we're going to go to a daily chart. Intraday, time interval, 10 days, 1 minute. Okay. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go back on that was last Monday, September 17th. Last Monday, September 17th, right here. As you can see, this stock opened and closed, went up right away. We're going to zoom into just this day. Right away, this news came out about 9:40 when people started hearing about it. Look what happened to this stock. It went up 15%. And what? An hour? Pretty much in an hour. It went up 15%. And then it just kind of dropped off a little bit, then kept on going up. Now you gotta remember, people that aren't at their computers all day, they might see at the end of the day, hey, this company had news from Coca-Cola said they were gonna buy this stock. So most likely that's why this stock just started soaring at the end of the day. Trust me, these lower cap stocks, they are all manipulated by news like crazy. So we'll go even further. We'll go to the next day. This was Tuesday after the article came out. Now, sure enough, Tuesday was its big day because everyone, they see the biggest gainers of the day. I guarantee CBDS was on a lot of people's radar because it went up about like over 15% in one day. It actually went up that entire day 30%. That's huge. It'll show up on a lot of people's scanners because it went up that high in one day. So sure enough, people are investigating. They're like, okay, why did the stock go up so high? They go in the next day, they see overnight, and then they look, and a lot of people read the news. And yes, the stock dropped when the market opened a little bit, about 10%. But overall that day again, it went up 50%, just in that day alone. So more and more people catch on by the news, and then this stock just starts soaring and soaring and soaring, and that's where you make your big profits. But, as always, these stocks can only go up so far, so fast. Look at this huge drop-off it had. Everyone, the people that were in early were happy with they probably got around a 60% gain if they were in early enough, 50% gain if they were good watching this news. So they're cashing out. Tons and tons of people are cashing out this next on Wednesday. And look, as soon as the market opened, this stock drops 24% in no time at all. I mean, that time lapse, that's 15 minutes in the market open. Market opens 9:30, 9:45. This stock dropped 23%. That's huge. So if you were one of those late ones getting in on this, and you saw at the very end of the day, you're like, wow, this stock just keeps on going. I gotta get it. It's gonna do the same thing on Thursday. It's gonna do the same thing on Thursday. So then people they panic. They're like, oh my god, the stock went up so much, I'm gonna miss out on everything. So they get in at the end of the day on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, stock boom, loses 25%. So if you were late getting in on this news, you probably lost out on a lot of money over this whole little trade. And then, well, I mean, we can keep on going. It kind of flattened out for days and days. And then the next day, it just keeps on falling. We're going to go back to 6-month day chart. So going back, yeah, over 2 days, the stock did go up 100%. You could have doubled your money if you were in right before the news hit. But, I mean, that's very hard to do. It's very, very, I'm going to say, like, lucky, unlucky. It depends. It just depends. It depends. Or you could just be investing. You could have a high risk play and think, okay, CBDS, it's going to go to the, it's just a marijuana stock. That's why I'm going to invest in it because I think eventually it's going to go to the moon. So, yeah. If you were in it for the long term, you could have lucked out. But I just want to say, like, stock went up 100% in 2 days. Guess what? It's going down 27% the third day. That's how this news just affects these stocks. It's crazy. It affects them so much. And sometimes if you're in on good news, bad news, it can really make or break what you're doing. And even today, a new article came out and said data projects the U.S. medical cannabis market to reach $12.5 billion by 2025. So I could almost see this stock taking off again next couple of days. But I mean, you don't know. It could fall just as fast as it got up. And this is just how bad news can really affect these lower cap stocks. Big name companies, when they say they're going to invest in this, it's going to make it soar. And if any of you guys are interested in these medical marijuana stocks or anything, this is a good article. It's pretty long. It goes into a lot of different companies out there. And if you're looking for one to buy, this might be a good article to start on. If you're looking for a long-term investment, you could start here, read up about some of these companies because, let's face it, medical marijuana, it seems like it's getting more and more prevalent as time goes on. A lot of new it's coming out. It's being legalized everywhere. There's new medical marijuana shops popping up depending on what part of the country you live in. This could be a good sector. It could be a boom or bust sector. No one really knows. So if you're in it, you might want to go in it for long term, and you might want to be careful with the companies you're choosing. A lot of these lower cap stocks will take advantage of stuff like this and just start saying, "Oh, we're a medical marijuana company too," even though they really aren't. There are some actual good established companies out there that sell medical marijuana, and there are some fakes out there too. Just be very careful. And I'm not saying I have no idea about CBDs. Didn't do any research on it. I just thought it was interesting that article comes out about CBD, and then I go and look it up, and there's a difference between CBD and THC. And a lot of people probably misinterpreted that news on CBD, and they thought, oh, CBDS is the company Coca-Cola is investing in. So that's why people jump on. Be very careful about these news articles and watch what they can do, because as you can see, you can gain 100% in 2 days. But if you got in after those 2 days because you just saw that news article, hey, you're already down 25%. And that's not saying this stock won't go back up. But that's really, it sucks if you guys got in here. Anyone that got in here and's already down to here, yeah, it came up a little bit, but you're still down 20% from where you invested. And there's no sure sign that this stock will keep on going up. It could fall back down to $2. Then what? $8 to $2? You just lost about 75% of your money. So be very careful when news articles like these come out. Make sure if you're jumping in on something just because it spiked, you know what you're doing. So if you enjoyed the video, you liked any of this stuff, subscribe to my channel, give a like, comment below if you got any questions. Talk about stuff in the stock market all the time. Just general investing tips, stuff I've learned, stuff I've went through. And I will see you guys in the next video.